Good morning, everyone. Good Tavach, Shavua Tov. We are continuing here in the words of the Horowitz in the Sefer HaMitzvos HaKotzar. And now the Horowitz is going to spend a little bit of time speaking about the laws of Shabbos. So we're holding over here by Mitzvah Vav in the negative commandments. Mitzvah's Loisaseh. It is a negative commandment, Shalaseh Malacha b'Shabbos, not to do any malacha, not to do any of the prohibited actions and work on Shabbos. How do we know that? Shenemar, it says clearly, Loi sase koi malacha. Do not do kol malacha, any of the work that the Torah says you're not allowed to do. Umanu chazal lamites avos malachos. Now the Torah doesn't really say clearly what are all of those malachas, which are all the jobs, the actions and the work that a person is not allowed to do. So Chazal learn out that since we find Shabbos and the Mishkan and the building of the Mishkan of the tabernacle can show up several places in the Torah, one right next to each other, and really the keeping of Shabbos and the building of the Mishkan of the tabernacle on first glance have really nothing at all to do with each other. Chazal learn out from over there the following. Whatever malachas they did in the construction and the building of the Mishkan, whatever they did to make it the way that it was, those are the malachas, those are the actions and activities and the work that a Yid, that a Jew is not allowed to do on Shabbos either. And therefore we learn out in the Asiyas HaMishkan, the building of the Mishkan, that there were actually 39 different malachas that were used over there. And from those 39 activities of building and shaping and forming and pulling together and all the different things that are involved over there, so that then is, those are the malachas, those are the prohibited actions that we're not allowed to do on Shabbos. So Umanu Chazal lamites avos malachas. So the Chazal teaches there are 39 malachas that we cannot do. If you look inside the Gemara in Masechta Shabbos, on Daf Ayin Gimel Amud Aleph, if anybody wants to take a look inside of there, you'll see, which means that is Ayin is 73, page A. You'll find the list of all of the 39 malachas listed over there. If a person transgresses the avos, which are the primary labors, and then there's also the Toldoseyan, there are like derivatives of those malachas as well. Chazal came along and explained to us what else is included in the category, kind of like subgroups of the main category. Chayovim skila, if a person transgresses, and he does it, if a person transgresses, he's chayiv, he's the death penalty, he gets skila. That means that if he was about to do, the way that it works in the punishments, if he's about to do the malacha and two witnesses come along and say, Yanko, you're not allowed to turn on that light on Shabbos, and he says, I know, I'm going to do it anyway. So he was warned, and he did it b'mezid, he did it intentionally. It's the death penalty, skila. U'b'mezid b'lo yasra, if he did it knowingly, however, there was no hasra, there was no warning from two witnesses, then kares, then he's going to get spiritually cut off in the next world. U'b'shoigig, if he did it unknowingly, he didn't realize that you're not allowed to turn lights on Shabbos, or he didn't realize that it was Shabbos, whatever the case might be, chatas, he'd be obligated to bring a korban, a sacrifice called a korban chatas, a sin offering. Again, in our days, we don't have a Beis HaMikdash, we can't bring the sin offering, but that's what his obligation would be. And the difference between the main category of actions that are prohibited, the toldos, and the secondary category, the only difference is that a korban, meaning the korban is going to be brought for the av malacha, and apparently not for the tolda. Malacha shein shvus the rabbanon. Any malachas that are called shvus, which means the rabbanon came along and said you cannot do this either, and they made them as safeguards in order to protect a person from trampling on the major mitzvahs. Shegazu aleim mishum gader. They made them all because of protective fences. Chayavim aleim b'mezid makos mardas. If you did it knowingly, which means you willingly transgressed one of the rabbinical prohibitions, then you deserve what's called makos mardos. You would get lashes in such a case. Again, without a Beis HaMikdash, we don't enforce this capital punishment. But when there will be a Beis HaMikdash, again, that is the punishment that will befall a person. Have a wonderful day.